4 miles. Any guesses? 2 miles, 10 miles, both wrong. Clear? What? 6? 6 what? 6 miles closer. 3 miles, 7, 10, 5, which? 5 miles, you get the prize, sir. Would you pass that back to him? 5 miles or 8 kilometers. It's going to look a little bigger when we get there. And over here, that 5 miles or 8 kilometers away, we built the structures that carried many of the basic functions just in case something went wrong over there. This is a buffer zone between here and there. We have our communication center over here to the left. Take a look. Very simple building, but it houses the necessary electronics to keep us in touch with NASA facilities worldwide, as well as serving as our telephone company. I look at that building and I'm sure they didn't spend much for the architect's fees for that one. Over to the right we have central instrumentation. This building was designed around the size of the computers that were needed in the 1960s. And we are replacing this with an energy efficient, handicap access friendly building that is very much smaller that I'll point out a little later. This one is just so far out of date that it's one of those times it's better to replace it. And that's going to happen with our of everything necessary for shuttle, and we are almost ready for the new Space Launch System. So that platform will be brought over and taken through these doors and set down for assembly, and then brought back out through these doors with a completed rocket to take it out to the launch pad. Now you'll see tread marks here next to us. The building to the right is the Launch Control Center. This is where the countdown and liftoff were managed. But people in that building had the high stress responsibility of monitoring the stacking and prepping of the rockets as well. Feel comfortable with the idea of grease fires in the treads right under the rocket either. We have a 15 to 20 centimeter layer, 6 to 8 inch layer of this river rock, and when it gets too crushed, we scoop it up, use it for other purposes, and replace it. It comes down from North Alabama, about 500 miles, about 800 kilometers, and underneath, just over 2 meters, 7 feet of very carefully engineered fill that will support and spread the weight. New program, we're moving from 18 million pounds to 22 to 24 million pounds. And so we thought we should check the underlying material. And notice the driver's control box at the front left corner there. There's another exactly like it driver's control box on the opposite corner. One thing we did not do was U-turns. If we had to go the other direction, the driver got out, walked halfway around, and steered from the other end. Okay, the crawler weighs in at 6 million pounds, and we got a deal. These were designed and built for us by the Marion, Ohio Power Shovel Company, and they sold them to us for $1 a pound. What a deal. We're not allowed to stop right here, I'm sorry to say. The treads, each of the steel plates weighs 1 ton. We will come back past this, so you'll be on the other side coming back. And if you look out to the right, kind of at 1 o'clock, you can see that launch pad 41 where the launch occurs on Friday. And coming up on the right is our viewing gantry. That's where they're going. Now SpaceX, very bashful about who they are, you'll see by the size of the logo they put on the building. This will be their assembly point for their Falcon Heavy, which is in effect 3 Falcon 9s strapped together with a big cargo carrier on top. They will also do the launch of human beings on their Falcon 9 from this location. They're going to take the taller tower we have here left over from the shuttle. You'll see it as we come around the building. There's a lightning mast on top. They're going to take off the lightning mast and add 30 feet. And in that 9 meters, there will be a swing arm for the astronauts to cross to get to their capsule. And there will be a big hammerhead crane that can lift things to put them into the payload bay of the Falcon Heavy when it gets up on the pad. The Falcon Heavy will lift off from here with about 4 million pounds of thrust. That's just over half what a Saturn V did. And when a Saturn V lifted off from here, the sound energy would go down into the ground, get into the bedrock, would cross the North American continent, and in California it would be reported as an earthquake from Florida. That amount of shaking from sound energy would have damaged tile. And so what we did, we added the water tower, and we would dump between 300,000 and 400,000 gallons of fresh water on the launch pad and platform, and that water would absorb sound energy and convert it to heat. So we'd get this huge plume of steam, but less shaking, and that created a safety margin. Okay. Thank you, Isaac Newton, for explaining that you neither create nor destroy energy, but it can change form. That's a remarkable level of precision in doing it. The reason we have the ramp is to provide a flame trench underneath. You don't dig down in Florida without getting water. And so we have to raise above the surrounding area, and that's what we did here. So this pad is virtually ready for the launch. A few months ago, we brought the other crawler out almost to the base of this pad, ran it out, ran it back, making adjustments along the way, and it's now